What's going on, everyone? This is Impulse and welcome back to HermitCraft Season 6. Last episode, guys, we did a really cool kelp farm in the base and some other things as well, the smelter system and some cool stuff. I think we're gonna take a look at that again and do some modifications, make it even better today. But first I wanted to show you guys some work that had been done on the gold farm. Tango and I actually did this in a live stream, and we got all the piggies back. They were missing. If you didn't know, I was missing a few piggies, and Tango kind of admitted that when he was using the farm, he didn't quite realize that these guys were even out here, and from inside, they just look like regular piggies chilling on the platform, and I think that he may have accidentally shot a couple of them off, and so that's why they were disappearing. But anyway, we got them back in here now. They're all named. Share my inner turmoil, it says. I'm mad. And they're kind of caged up a little bit to help, you know, see that they're not supposed to be shot or anything like that. Also got all the iron golems in. Basically, I stole the iron from my beacon, and today, hopefully, we can use a different material to build that beacon back up in the base. But we got all the iron golems around. These iron golems, if I didn't mention it before, they're actually there to lure the magma cubes that could spawn in here towards them and off the platform down there. Otherwise, the magma cubes would kind of come my way, right? And then they would all just kind of get stuck in this area, which wouldn't be good. So that's why the iron golems are there, and the pigmen are there just to keep the aggro chain alive. They basically just continue to communicate with each other and tell everybody that respawns or new spawns that they should be mad at me. Also got an enchantment set up in here, so when you're AFK in the middle there, you can enchant as you go, or I guess you wouldn't be AFK if you were busy enchanting, but as you're collecting XP, you can enchant your stuff. So that's why that is there. It's covered with carpet, so we shouldn't have any issues with spawns. And so this thing is pretty much done. There's one last thing I need to do. These right here need to be anvils because that will allow space for two pigmen to kind of come in shoulder to shoulder and still fit in the gap. Right now they can kind of they don't get stuck completely here, but they'll come up and they'll go shoulder to shoulder. They can't fit in, and then eventually one wins and goes in. But if we make those anvils, that will happen a little quicker, which should increase the rates a bit. But yeah, this thing is coming along. I'm super happy with it. I did a little bit of an AFK session, I don't know, maybe an hour or two, and I haven't checked the output, so let's take a look and see if we got any goodies down here. So we did the shulker box thing. Yeah, we got a full shulker box full of gold. Okay, I kind of, to be honest, I kind of expected more than that. I wonder if anybody's been through here taking some gold. I wouldn't doubt that for a second. Yeah, definitely somebody has. There should definitely be more nuggets than that. So I think somebody did come through after I AFK'd and took some stuff. Yeah, you can see how much rotten flesh there is that they didn't want. So you can imagine how much gold was actually in here. Okay, I bet you anything it was Tango. Anyway, if I was to make my guess, I bet it was Tango that came and grabbed up all the gold for, he probably needed to get himself a beacon as well. Anyway, but yeah, you can tell just by the rotten flesh. Actually, was the rotten flesh completely full? Let's see, it would have been right there. Yeah, we probably were overflowing this system, actually. So pretty good. It's pretty, you know, I might make another one of these over on this side and just kind of have like a mirror, right? I wonder if it would fit. Doesn't look like it would. We'd have to change quite a bit. But anyway, yeah, because it's not exactly keeping up the hopper system. I came down and there was stuff sitting on the hopper, not even getting sucked up. So I think the farm works too good for it to keep up. But anyway, we're going to go back in the base, and I want to make some modifications to the kelp farm to make it even better. Back here at the kelp farm, and you can see I did already make one change. I just thought it was too much of the lime stained glass, so I changed it out with the iron bars, which I think is a little better, kind of breaks that up just a bit. And yeah, that's going to be good. And the other change I wanted to try is I had a few suggestions on how we could make this thing lossless. So I talked about it. Every once in a while we get this floating kelp in there because there's no water source right there. And I had the suggestion to do something like this and kind of do the same thing, but we need to take out the glass. So I've already removed the tracks because we're going to cause a water mess here. So let's go ahead and take out this bottom row of glass, and then we'll see if this does indeed make it lossless. So hopefully what we're hoping for is that floating kelp will instead escape through the bottom here. So let's just run these iron bars like so. Oh, the hitboxes on iron bars and panes, like I said, my pun last episode. They are a pain. And I'm out of iron bars. Great. Okay, let me make some more. All right, there we go. Now that we got that in, now I just need to kind of keep my eye on it and see once it harvests a few times if we do stop getting those floaters in there. They should basically just come right out the bottom just like they would at the top. So we will see. I'll keep my eye on it and keep you posted. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I got to make some changes to this, guys. I derped up as usual. This is not going to be a good design to go with because the kelp's going to come in slowly, and basically every time it distributes just 1 or 2 kelp to these furnaces, it's going to pretty much use up an entire dried kelp block just to get a couple kelp smelted, and that's not going to have a good return. We need to actually kind of throttle the input on this and only release kelp into the system when we know we're going to fill up 20 per furnace, because each one of these dried kelp blocks will burn 20 kelp, right? So we want to drop in 20 at a time and kind of throttle it that way. Plus, I was thinking I was going to need another module of this, but after kind of looking at the rates and thinking about it a little bit more, I think one will be fine. So I'm going to tear this down and kind of center it in the room and make it look a little bit better. So while I'm doing that, again, I'll keep my eye on all this. It looks like we have had a harvest already. Could have been from up there as well, but yeah, we'll keep an eye on it and see if we do indeed stop getting those guys caught inside there. All right, I'm back up here because I talked to Tango and it turns out I was right. He actually did grab some gold from here. He had done an AFK session as well and just assumed it was all from his session, but he said he put some more back up in here. Where'd he put it? Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. That is quite a lot. All right, cool. Because this is exactly what I need. I want to get a beacon going. I got a little bit of digging to do down in the base. So I wanted to recreate my beacon pyramid out of gold because I used a lot of the iron from that pyramid up on those iron golems and stuff. So thank you, Tango, for returning the gold. I'll do some more AFKing after this episode probably and get this thing restocked with gold anyway. But yeah, man, thanks. All right, there we go. Got the pyramid rebuilt with gold blocks. It's time to throw down the beacon, and I just wanted you guys to hear this because it's so cool. Listen to this. That is a really cool noise it makes, and it kind of hums when you get close to it. So let's go ahead and set this thing for haste 2, and that way we can get some... Oh, there's another cool noise that it makes when you set it. Man, that's cool. All these new noises in the game. All right, we're going to sneak through here and take a look at the kelp farm because, as you can see, well, we're not collecting the kelp right now, but there is no kelp being held in this bottom row of kelp anymore. So it is now lossless, which is really cool. Got a lossless design, and it's producing quite a lot of kelp, actually. So that's awesome. But I need to rebuild the furnace so we can start smelting it down into dried kelp and then making dried kelp blocks and then making a nice renewable fuel source. So that's the plan. I'm actually going to move the furnace, so we're going to leave this room kind of open, may do some decoration with it. I'm going to move to a straight line kind of furnace array, and I've actually spent a few hours in creative coming up with a design that's going to allow us to really efficiently use the fuel from the dried kelp blocks. Since they smelt exactly 20 items, I wanted to make sure that we only feed exactly 20 kelp into the system at a time. So each furnace should get exactly 20 kelp. It'll use 1 dried kelp block to smelt all 20 items, and then we can get another 20 basically. So I did come up with a design after banging my head against the wall in creative for a few hours, and I'm gonna go ahead and build it up, and then we're gonna go over how the redstone works. Okay, so something terrible just happened. I left myself AFK in here, and oh, I got killed by a zombie. Oh man, I shouldn't have stayed in here. It was not safe. Oh, okay, well at least my stuff is still here. I saw it in time. Oh my goodness, second death of the season there. We lost, I don't know, 200 and some levels, which is not a huge deal because the gold farm absolutely cranks XP out, so we can get those back no problem. But oh man, that was not cool. Yeah, so apparently not safe in here. Let's make sure we get everything. I wonder if there's a zombie walking around with any of my stuff. It doesn't look like he got anything of mine. Yeah, we got all of our tools and everything still. So, okay, he must have killed me and then maybe despawn. But jeez, I was just in here chilling. Yeah, it makes sense that that's not the safest area considering there's cave systems all over. So whoops. Dang it. All right, I think I got all the redstone in now, and I haven't tested it yet, so we're gonna do it. So basically what I've done is I've preloaded each furnace with just one dried kelp block, which means if we feed them 20 kelp, it should be perfect amount for this to smelt that 20 kelp down. So what we want to do is make sure we supply those furnaces with exactly 20 kelp, and this is where this weird setup comes in. We got a hopper minecart that's being held back by a cobblestone fence at the moment, and we got a comparator coming off of that hopper minecart and another comparator coming into the side of that. And what we're doing is we're supplying a power strength from a, let's see if we can see it, it's right under here, from a furnace of, I think it's level 7, and when the hopper minecart gets 2.5 stacks, two and a half stacks of kelp. As soon as it gets that much kelp in there, it is going to be enough power to be more than the power coming from the furnace. I know everybody's eyes are glossing over. And then at that point, this cobblestone wall will lift up because we got the comparator right here is going to put signal into the sticky piston, and that's going to release the cart. It's going to go over and start dropping its items into a hopper right there. So it's that hopper drop-off station again, and all the items will be released and then go into the furnace array over here. And basically this is kind of like the furnace array I did last season, where it's going to distribute the items all the way down the line, and when it gets to the end, it's going to release one item at a time every time the entire hopper line fills up with one. So the furnaces should get distributed equally. And if I can get out of here, what else we got going on? Oh, because the items come into the hopper minecart so fast, I had to slow down the rate that they come in order to give time for this mechanism to release the cart. So we have your typical dropper clock here, but I've actually added a bunch of ticks on here, so it's 4-tick delay. So this dropper is going to actually go pretty slow into this cart. So what I want to do is kind of like see this in action, and hopefully it works. So we'll just say the cart's already loaded up with this much, just to save you guys some time, and we say we got 16 more that come in, and now you can see the clock starting to go. It's going to be distributing those items into the hopper minecart at this point, and as soon as it reaches 32, which is going to equal what, 160 kelp total, that's going to get distributed across the 8 furnaces at 20 kelp a piece, so that should equal 160. I know I had to do math and stuff for this. It was very hard. My brain hurts. So anyway, now we should see, there we go, all the furnaces turn on, except for this one. This one's stubborn. It's something with the hopper timings. I remember Il Mango had an issue with that, and he was able to fix it. So I might have to add some of his redstone magic in, or I can just say, you know what, forget that furnace, we'll just skip it. But anyway, we should have the 20 kelp coming in now. You can see it already burned the kelp block, so we're just going to let this finish. They're kind of coming in as they're burning, which is perfect. And then as soon as this cart gets unloaded, it should send itself back, and it could then, I can't reach it, it could then start collecting its next set. So let's see if we do indeed get all 20 kelp through the system, and so I'll just cut here and come back when it's finished. All right, it just finished, and right when that last kelp smelted, it stopped. So we know that we have it exactly right. Let's see, each one of these should have exactly 20 kelp, except for this middle one, which is getting completely skipped because of weird hopper timing problems. But that's fine. I didn't mind. I just added, all I needed to do when I saw that happen, I just added another furnace at the end or the beginning. I can't remember which one I did. But now we have it so that there's 8 working furnaces, which is exactly what we needed for it to get split across. And you can see that we have all that dried kelp from it. So now I would just need to put some crafting tables down over there. Of course, we can cook that back up, and now I can load these back in, and then we can start getting it so that eventually, you know, we have this a little easier to do. I probably could put some hoppers on the back and load them up that way, so I don't have to do this manually, but probably do that another time. So we just need to load these furnaces back up with a fuel source again, and I think I'll run another test just to make sure. Last time I loaded it with exactly 160 kelp, and I want to actually test it by loading more than that this time and make sure that the cart takes off when it's supposed to. So okay, they all have a couple dried kelp blocks in there. Let's go back up, and I will again, just to speed things up, load these up with some kelp to start with, and we'll put the rest in here. So now I just need to get the kelp elevator to come into that hopper there, and we should be good to go. Let's see. Hopefully this takes off right when it hits 32, even though there's going to be a few extra kelp in the system. Uh-oh. Might have gone at 33. Ooh, okay, that extra one could end up causing a problem because we need it to be evenly distributed. So I might need even more delay on this clock here. So we may have to change up the circuit to add one more tick of delay. So let me do that, because we definitely want to just make sure that it's coming in slow enough that the cart doesn't take off on time. Of course, it worked, you know, probably 10 times straight in my creative world, and then here we go on the server, and it's just got a little bit different timings with the tick lag or something. But anyway, let me expand that clock, and we'll see if that makes it a little more reliable here. So this is what happens when you send an extra item. You can see all the furnaces now are smelting nothing, and it's a complete waste of fuel. So yeah, that's the problem. So we got to make sure that we get that right. So I'm gonna let this finish burning out. Actually, I'll grab whatever kelp I can just to just to get something out of this. We don't want it to go to waste here. So hopefully we can get at least these cooked while we're waiting. Let's see, is there any more on the ground? Yep, let's go grab some more. Don't want to waste, guys, especially when we're starting off here. We want to definitely get the most return we can, because we got to build up that you know, fuel stock here in the beginning stages of this whole thing. So let's get that going. Did I put that in the wrong place? I did. All right. So while that's finishing, let's take a look up here. I want to show you what I did with the dropper clock. I just added another repeater onto it back right here. So hopefully that will now give it a little bit more delay, slow it down just a little bit, and that way give the hopper minecart a chance to take off right when it gets to the 160 items. The other thing I want to mention is that this clock isn't going to run unless the hopper minecart is sitting there. I've got a signal going to it. You can see it through here. So as long as it's sitting there, it's going to send the signal. I got an inverted torch right here. So as soon as the hopper minecart leaves, this will stop doing its cycles and no longer spit items, because I didn't want items to be coming into this hopper while it was unloading over there and then potentially reach too many items. So it's kind of like a little shut-off switch. So okay, let's see here. These are now done. So let me set up another test and we'll see if we've now fixed it. All right, here we go. Let's give it another go here now that we got the clock changed. So it's already preloaded with a little bit here. Let's just throw in all the kelp here and let it go through. Okay, moment of truth. Is it going to take off with exactly 32 in the slot? So we'll wait for this to come in. It does seem like the clock is quite a bit slower now. You can see they're just really trickling in. That piston you heard was not the cart release. It was the kelp farm next to me. But let's see here. Come on now, 27, 28. The anticipation is killing me. Come on. And go. No! Dang it! Okay, let's fix it. Oh, come on. All the tests I ran, and now you're doing this to me. You kidding me? Oh. All right, so I think I finally got the timings down. We're about to find out if this takes off with 32 items. Yep, there it goes. Perfect. Okay, I think that's the third or fourth time now that I've witnessed it take off with the right amount of items. We are getting the smelting happening, growing the stock of dried kelp blocks. In fact, I can clear this out, and I need to throw down some chests underneath and some crafting tables over here as well to make this a lot easier on me to get in here. Basically, right now, what I've been doing is this, manually taking them all out, running over here, doing this, crafting them up, seeing how many I have, and then figuring out how many I can divide up among the furnaces so I can throw 2 more in each one right now. And then basically I'm just going to keep doing this over and over again until my dried kelp stock is like at least 64 in each furnace, and then I'll figure out exactly what I want to do about supplying the fuel, maybe through hoppers on the back after I get to that point, I guess. But yeah, this is going well now. It's working perfectly. The only thing really really left for me to do is to start actually collecting kelp automatically again, because I took out the rails as I was working on switching out to the glass panes earlier, or to the iron bars from the glass panes, I should say. So I need to put that back in, and of course, because we're no longer coming up a water elevator here in the center of the room, I need to actually guide it over here somewhere. So I'll have to do a little item elevator. Probably can just do it like through here. So I'll dig down through here, and yeah, I can even see where I'm at now. Good. Bring it on over that way and up. So that'll work. Let me get that in, and then we'll wrap this up. All right, we got it all hooked up. The cart is going around and collecting the kelp now. Let's see if it picked any up on the way. It should stop and start unloading it. Should see it start shooting up the elevator there and getting into our system. And there you go. You can see the cart returning to go pick it up. The furnaces are going pretty steady now. Let's see. We're getting, oh my goodness, yes, we're getting all the dried kelp. Awesome. Yes, this thing is working great. Oh, I'm so excited. Now we got this pretty much, not fully automated, but yeah, it's a lot more automated than it was before. Working really great. No loss. That's all. I don't have to pick it up myself anymore. What am I doing? The cart will do it. There it goes. Just a constant stream of kelp coming in. This is perfect. As I'm working around my base, this is just going to constantly be cooking. And yeah, fuel source. Easy peasy. So, all right, guys, we did a lot of work today, and I'm really happy with the results of what we got done. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe before you go. And with that said, I'll see you guys again next time. Have a good one, everyone.